Welcome welcome everybody, and maybe we could get our guests to introduce themselves so we can get you on our records.
I'm Jean Jameson. I live on South Holly Street, and here basically just to listen to everything, but also about the Ivy Ridge.
My name is Alicia Benjamin. I'm also live in the Ivy Ridge subdivision on South Third.
Okay. Now, before we get back to you folks, can I get a motion to approve our September meeting minutes and somebody to second those? Anybody motion?
I wasn't here, I'll motion, but I can motion to approve the September minutes.
Okay, motion to approve. Anybody, can we get somebody to second that?
Well, second.
Okay, Tara, seconds. Okay. The September 16th meeting minutes then were approved. I want to go back to the visitors. Normally what we do is that we have our visitors, if you have something that you would like to address, even though it's in our, we give you this opportunity to speak now. And then when you're done, if you want to leave, you can leave. And then we're just going to go on about our agenda items. Because once we get in the agenda, there won't really be a point or a period where you will speak. So if you have things that you would like to say now, jump in.
Would you like to go first? Or would you
Go ahead.
Okay, so there's two parcels of land in the Ivy Ridge subdivision. I think you've been
Yes.
referring to them as parcel A and parcel B.
Mhm.
Not sure which one my house is, but there's one parcel that's larger and the house is back up against it.
Mhm.
And then there's one parcel that's smaller and there's two homes beside. I'm one of those two homes.
Okay.
And so I'm just a bit concerned about what is going to be next to my home. I work for the company that built the subdivision. And I know that even just having portable toilets on site has drawn people into the subdivision, and I pay the bills, and so I see the damage that has been done to these portable toilets and the usage of them, and so I'm concerned that that something may push back to people into our neighborhood. I have a child, they're right next door, even with nothing there, kids have come there, lit fires, drinking. That wasn't fun because it was summer and the dried weeds and fire and trees and the home right there.
Mhm.
So I'm just concerned about what's gonna go there. I don't want my property values to go down. I don't
Sure.
want there to be dangerous things happening. I don't want to fear for my kids.
Yeah, as of right now, I mean, we don't have any immediate plans for Ivy Ridge. I know it's on the agenda here because, basically because what we have going on in Auburn Farms on Locust, because if you have been down Locust Street off of Territorial, we're building a new park down there right now, and you can see, if we built a park like that, we've also been talking about maybe just doing a green space for now or putting in sidewalks for now or whatever. Jerry can talk to them a little bit, I guess. But there are no plans really on the table right now for Ivy Ridge.
Okay, well, if I did, I like nothing. Nothing's a good, a sidewalk would be great. I don't mind a field of weeds, but if there is something there, the one thing that I might be able to add just from living there is that there's a ton of wildlife. Several people have birds or nests in their homes. One of the homes that's still for sale, they had a bird nest. Sorry. And the mother hit the side of the house, and so there was no parent to feed the baby birds. So a realtor took the bird nest down, and I was like, well, no, predator's gonna get it. So I took it to what used to be the Audubon Society. It's the Bird Alliance now. And they rehabilitated the bird, fed it, and my son was able to release it on his 4th birthday. actually, so that's
Oh,
pretty
nice.
cool. So if there could be maybe like a bench for bird observatory or native plants that don't need maintenance because they're native, that maybe draw in local wildlife. There's deer that still graze there, so.
Well,
that's-
the one thing for sure is that if we do get, if we do move further along with any plans and start talking about this, we would definitely draw in the neighborhood. And we would talk to the neighbors about what you would like to see, what you want to do. You know, we would canvass the neighbors and have a meeting with neighbors. So we'll take into consideration what you all want to see.
Yeah, that's great.
Well, and my step is a little different, because I have been part of our neighborhood who's been trying to work to collaborate in our subdivision around the development of the future park. And we've had great interest in, everyone in the neighborhood has, well, I shouldn't say everyone, we've had probably, out of everyone, we've had about 78% response of people who are interested in tracking what's gonna happen there.
Mhm.
And the majority are interested in having some kind of park. We bought our homes knowing that that was reserved for some park space at some time. And so kind of where we are is want to know how to navigate that best with the committee and the city. What areas we have, you know, worked on our own communications within the neighborhood so that we can help suss out the preferences and the, you know, desires and things that people wouldn't want. And I think, you know, we just want to be involved in helping in any way we can and keeping that communication open. As well as, you know, funding, if funding is an issue, we have some people who are interested in helping pursue possible funding sources, grants or anything like that, or if there's any options to help, and if there's things that we can do to even put some labor involved, planting a few trees. We've had people, you know, stepping forward with that kind of thing. And I think at the minimum, you know, our starting point would be, we would love to have the sidewalks, which I think you got a call about recently too, that so we can at least have continuous safe walking paths in the neighborhood, even across the parks if they're not developed. The city did come out and work on a drainage issue that was from the middle ground there. And that was a problem for a few homeowners. That's been wonderful that they responded to that. And then I think the neighborhood is really well aware that, you know, funding is always a big concern, maintenance is always a big concern, and we don't seem to be having anything that is on anyone's mind that's going to be, you know, a big investment, but you know, some way to navigate through the space with some nature elements and some benches, sidewalks, that kind of stuff.
Do you
So
have an HOA?
we do not.
But like I said, when we get to a point, and we're a ways away because we're in the middle of this Auburn Farms Park right now. Are we gonna do anything within the next year? I don't know. It depends on money, you know, within the, you know, within the city budget, and we have to go to council, you know, and make that proposal. But when it gets to that point, we'll do a neighborhood outreach and have meetings and talk, and that will all
And we're just
happen.
interested in how we streamline on our end to make sure we can come to you with as much kind of consensus as we can.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Are there, so we just want to kind of stay in touch, I guess, is, I mean, one of the
Sure.
key elements, and keep it on the radar as time goes forward.
Yeah, as time goes forward, you will be, you're on the minutes, so we know how to get hold of this, so we can, we reach out when it comes, when the talk becomes a little more serious, we can invite you back to the meetings, and we would probably set up a special meeting just to discuss the Ivy Ridge Park itself, and we wouldn't have all this other stuff going on.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
so focused one,
Yeah, focus me.
okay.
So, yeah, and if you care to stay and just listen in, feel free. If you'd like to leave, you're welcome to.
Thank you, I'm gonna stay a little bit.
Okay. Mindy, my.
I
Sorry.
We know, Mindy, did you wanna say anything now, or did you just wanna?
No. Yeah, it's more just if I can be of any help or comment or silence, I just kind of want to follow kind of what's happening with the place and what they,
Okay,
so.
all right,
Any questions?
okay, you're welcome.
Likes one of the things.
We will move forward then to Jerry. I think he's provided everybody with a kind of a plan of what Auburn Farms is going to look like. And then we have a big map up on the wall. So Jerry, you wanna, it's going good. I mean, I've driven by there probably since I got nothing else to do. I drive by there like every 3 or 4 days to see what's going on. Looks good. I
Drive
think.
by every day.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
No, Auburn Farms doing great. They're on schedule, still shooting for April for grand opening of that. So like, if anything changes, but they got all the dirt work done before the rain, and now they're, as you can see, they're working on the curbing for the playground and stuff. So it's going great.
okay.
Great contractor.
Now, Tara, as a resident, how do you feel it's going?
It's going great.
Yeah.
There were people complaining about the tree, but like, if they use their brain, thought about it for a few minutes and realized there should be more trees planted, and obviously that tree was looked at. And
They had an arborist look at that tree, and I think, Jerry, didn't you say that tree had some?
It had some problems, yeah.
and either way, there's gonna be more planted, and
Yeah.
I understand people liked the look of it, because it was the only thing in that field, but
Wish we could have made it work.
Yeah.
It just didn't work out.
that was the only thing that we've heard
Okay.
negatively.
You have anything else? Anybody have anything on Auburn Farms that they want to mention?
We have our HOA meeting in November, beginning of November, and so I'll bring up the naming thing again.
Yeah.
But
Do
I don't know.
do you need a form, a blank form?
I feel like I found it in the city website, but it's not like, it's not easy
Right,
to find, so, I feel like Kara posted it once.
I think,
We also had people interested in how the naming and that it's like the tree and bench thing worked.
right,
Someone from our neighborhood called and then they said, oh, well, they have to decide on,
yeah, if you can make 3 or 4 copies.
they basically didn't have an answer for it. And on the benches, even though all the benches are the same now, aren't they, in all the parks?
We're
So,
trying to, yeah, all the benches would be the same, would be the city has their style. And we would like to make everything.
and then they also didn't know like what kind of trees, so, because that's gonna affect what people wanna pay. So anyways, there are people interested in that,
Okay.
but since there's no pricing or, when that becomes available,
Right,
what the plants are that are going in, then I think people are interested.
okay, so we can get that information.
Yeah.
And get it out as we get a little closer.
Yeah, yeah.
Jerry's making a copy of
Okay, perfect.
the application or the name.
Okay.
And then maybe you can just hand them out.
Yeah.
He's Jerry. So we had, name the park, we have an application, or we have applications online where you can go online, you can find it, access it. If you want to name the park, come up.
So it's right here. If you go under department, under Parks and Recreation, it'll be right here.
Oh,
There we
Park
go.
naming program.
okay,
And here are the
and
application.
you print it out.
And so we've had a number of, Kara Hawkins posted it on her Friends of Candy Parks website. Jamie was gonna post it to the city website, which you had. Jim Sinnott presented to the high school class. He was up there doing a presentation on forestry, whatever he was talking to them about. And he handed out some to one of the instructors up there. And then I've asked Tara maybe to take those to an HOA and see if anybody wants to come up with something there. I'm just asking that we try to get them back by January 15th next year. You know, this is a couple months. I have 3 applications so far. We have 3 turned in. One is just basically Auburn Farms. The other one is The Road of 1,000 Wonders. And the other one is Baker's Prairie. So. Yes, and there was a reason behind that Road of 1,000 Wonders. I mean, if you want me to. Okay, yeah. So anyways, we have 3. We'd like to get more, and it's gonna take some time probably to have a sign made up. So if we get it by January 15th, looking at April, early April, hopefully, like to have the sign up before then, so. Installation of the parking kiosk at Community Park was one of our topics last week, and I don't know if we ever reached a settlement or a decision on that. So, any discussion on that?
I missed the discussion last, I assume not last month, not last week.
Last month, I'm sorry.
Yes. So, I don't know what was really brought up.
Well, yeah, you're familiar with the Meldrum Bar parking situation there. They had a kiosk where if you enter into that park, you pay and you're given a ticket, and they have somebody that patrols that area, and if you don't have a ticket, they have you towed. So Jerry did some research, I think, Silverton.
Yeah,
They do it at the, where down there, so.
what's the name of that lake? Silverton Reservoir, I think, yeah. They put it in, they used to do paper, where you just had to put the money in the envelope and all that. They said it's a nightmare. They switched to this company that we set up a meeting with, and they loved it. I talked to the finance director for about an hour about it. It brings in, what was it, 60,000 it brings in a year.
How's it, who's monitoring that?
Basically what they said is they hit it hard with enforcement right off the bat, and they don't have a problem with people not paying it now. And so the Parks Department just keeps paper in it, and then it goes directly into the Finance Department into a fund. So.
And did we have, I guess, we talked to Tro and
I have,
Yes.
Tro supports it. The police and fire struggle down there as we go the busy months because people cram in there, and then the added cost maintenance down there because of the people in the summer that would help pay for the striping, the signage, the toilet paper, everything that goes into that. It's just kind of a whether the community wants that or not. You know, I think it was $5. Yeah.
And the one in Meldrum Park is like that, caught up in that one is, you can buy a yearly pass, or you can buy a daily pass. So, I don't know, it might be a situation where we would have this person come and talk to our group and explain if we think it's worthwhile to move forward. I mean, because we're always looking for ways to, you know, supplement our marketing. We don't have-
I don't know, I guess I'm old school. Go ahead, Dave.
David,
I just am very much against it. I don't think we should be having people pay to use our parks. And we could put meters downtown and make money, or put it at Maple Park, then that's used a lot more. I think our parks are for everybody, and that would keep some people from being able to use it. So that's all.
So say I'm kind of in that same boat. If they're gonna enforce, and maybe enforcing the parking, I'm guessing there's probably some double parking and whatnot going on down there, and enforcing the parking end of it versus the paying for parking.
And then
Make sure.
they are running with, now that we got the proper signage and striping, they're towing. And I don't know about tickets, but they're towing cars.
I think the main thing, and I think Jim would echo that, is the problem is that road going into the park and out. People would park on both sides of that road and would make it very narrow. And so I guess if we enforce that parking, I mean, there's signs there that say no parking at any time on the day.
It's striped and signed well.
Yeah,
I think towing is that answer versus paying, because they said, I think Maple Street gets that exact same boat where people are parking, pinching off things and doing that. I think it's more of, I don't know, I just feel like if we just do one park, then we need to be doing many parks. Can't just pick on this park over here because it's busy. Because we have multiple parks that are pretty busy, so I don't know, maybe because I don't know, just not used to that here in this town. And like parking downtown, otherwise it make more sense. I don't like to see that either, but I don't know. I think until we get like a true parking enforcement operation going on in this town, then I don't know. Then it's towing and making sure people just parking correctly versus paying.
Tara, what's your opinion?
I feel the same way. I don't think that it's gonna stop people from, I mean, the uproar that wasn't even from the town when Knightsbridge area, I mean, we don't always pay it when we go, because, well, what are we paying for? This gravel pit that with garbage overflowing, like, what is this money going for? So I know that's through the county, not through the city, but that's what people see. They don't know that. They don't know that it's separate things, and it doesn't really, maybe put a little tip box down there, help us take in the summer. I don't know, but yeah, I think someone just needs to be down there, take a lead.
Terry, what's your thought? Sam?
I mean, in a perfect world, I would love how to charge for things, but we're hurting and not providing the best services that are good to our community. And I don't know how many people that are there on a regular basis, particularly in the summer, are necessarily Canby residents. So if people are coming in from other communities where other communities are loudly accepting money for their services, I don't have a problem with it. Investigating some further.
Yeah.
We need some source of revenue. It can't just always be on the taxpayer's back. It should be a little bit of sharing for use. This may not be the solution, but I think it's worth exploring.
Sure. I'd like to see what it costs to install. I mean, there's gotta be some cost.
Yeah.
Police for enforcement, right? There is not.
It's an annual fee and a cost to install. It's like what, 20 grand to put in. And then it's $1,500 a year or something.
Yeah.
So there is cost associated with it.
I think it might be something that we table for now, and then
That's,
maybe bring it up at a later date with a representative from the company. And we can talk about it. It sounds like we're 50-50.
I don't love it, but I haven't listened to it.
Right, yep. You would listen to it also, right, David?
What's that?
I said you would listen to further, you would be willing to have further discussion.
Oh, sure.
Okay. All right. We're gonna table it for now, and then we'll move on.
that's Jim.
He can't answer it.
He was driving. He could hear us. He's driving.
Yeah. Hey, guys.
Oh,
Hi, Jim.
one of the discussions that people had mentioned before was that it was to capture some of the out of town money, not just in town people. And so I wouldn't be opposed to that necessarily.
Okay,
How do you even, they're really good.
it's like you as a citizen, if you go get a pass.
Right,
You
from
kind
like
of,
down, like city hall, like where, how do you, oh, okay.
yeah, or you would like shoot an email saying I'm a citizen, I want, there's ways that they can,
Or say then out of town people start using other people's addresses to get,
they could,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, tabling that, moving on to the next one. Pool upgrade status. And I guess we were gonna rely on Randy for that, but he's not gonna be. So we have asked David Discard, since he worked at the pool for 30 years, be involved in discussion that's going on with the pool. And David, are you privy? Have you been privy? I think you got left out of the last meeting, is that correct?
Yeah, I think the engineers were at the pool and they're putting together some proposals. I think that's where they're at right now. But I was swimming the other day and there was like 6 or 8 of them out there looking around and talking to Nathan and Eric.
Okay. So we don't have much more to share on that because Randy's not here to fill us in, I guess. So we'll move on to the method to monitor the parks maintenance fee. And Jerry and Jamie Stickle have been working on that diligently, and they've got something to share.
Yeah, we met with Barry, Jamie and I met with Barry, well, we met with Randy earlier, had a discussion with him. And then we met with Barry, we came up with kind of a plan back in late September. And basically trying to figure out, I know that this committee's been wanting us to be able to have a way of tracking where parks maintenance fees going and stuff. So we kind of put together kind of a process we think that would work. And basically the several things that we talked about were creating a specific, like put the parks department in its own individual department, like library has one, put parks in one. Right now it's lumped in with the general fund with everyone else. So make it specifically parks its own fund. And then what we would do is we would incorporate the parks maintenance fee expenditures. We'd make a line item for it. And I think we could make it as simple as coding it to one number and have details. And we kind of listed through all the materials and services what's qualified to come out of parks maintenance fees. So we kind of put, there's like 4 of them together. And so we would code that, anything that was expended to that, we'd code it to that expense. And then we would have an actual tracking device through our Cassell, our time card. So we could put in there what labor was coming out of that. And so it would make it easy for our parks team to code that and track it, so that if someone did a records request, say the parks chair does a records request, what has the money been staying on? You could pull up that number and you could bring up every receipt that was charged to that, or every man hour that, or personnel hour that was charged to that. And then we would ensure, you know, we want to look at the code and update the code. We're looking at that right now. Ensure that parks maintenance fee, that they are, everything that goes into that fee, reassure that it goes and is rolled over and accounted for. So that money would build if we didn't spend it, and it'd stay in that account. And we talked about amending the CM 3.3, outlining how the fee can be used, and that would just kind of specify what we could use on it. So the biggest key to this is we got a new finance director coming in December. Is that right, Jim? Is get together with the new finance director, explain kind of our, go in there with the finance director, explain what we want to do and get this thing implemented so that we're moving forward on it. Does that kind of cover it, Barry? Did I miss anything?
In a nutshell.
In a nutshell, yeah, I don't want to get too specific, but
No, and then you would be able to, like, I don't know, either monthly or quarterly, you'd be able to track, you'd be able to report out how much we've taken in and where it's, how much we have left.
It would go into the council gets them, you get quarterly or they get quarterly reports, council would, so they would see that and anyone could see that if they want, it's public knowledge. So, no, I think this is a good plan. I think it would kind of, it's what Barry's been kind of looking for since I've known him. Since 1993. But no, I mean, I think the whole group would, I think this would benefit all of us and make it easier to track and budget.
How is our fee different than streets?
Streets is very specific.
Okay.
And it's very specific and it's very easy because it's outlined in there that it's between the curbs only. So you can't use it for sidewalks, you can't use it, so it's anything in between a curb. And so it's gravel, asphalt, striping, everything that you can fit inside the curb to curb.
So how is that accounting?
It is pretty simple.
So is ours gonna be a more complex?
No.
situation?
It wouldn't, because what it would be is, it would be parts maintenance fee, similar. And then we would have 4 things outlined in the code that it could be taken out of: labor, say you wanted labor, say you wanted materials and services, contract services, and it would be specifically laid out in the detail sheets what we could do for it. So we would know what we can use it for, what we can. It'd be specific, like street maintenance fee.
Okay, I guess what I was getting at.
It'd be a little bit more
Can we not
complicated,
just duplicate, I mean, are we reinventing the wheel with ours, or are we just taking what they've been doing and?
it's kind of similar to that, but just laying it out what it's actually listed for. So it'd be just like that, gravel, striping, it'd be listed just kind of like that.
So I guess we just didn't do that from the get-go, and now we're just playing catch up.
It was pretty unrestricted.
Gotcha, okay.
It's good that we'll be able to see where our parts maintenance fee is.
So more to come on that. I'll keep you posted as we work on it. The finance director's key on this right now. And just getting their input. Maybe they'll have experience with some other cities wherever they're coming from, but.
Anybody else have any questions for Jerry on that? Yeah, Jerry and Jamie are doing a good job on that, and I'm sure they'll give us the answers we're after. So we'll move on to new business, and Jerry has a question, I guess. Well, striking the logging, bikes on the logging. road.
Bike and ped, went to Councilor Waterman at the last council meeting. They brought up the safety concern of the walking path on e-bikes and all that. So I had a meeting with Randy and George Tro today, and they asked me, why don't we just stripe it? And so we were gonna stripe it, I believe, and I just wanted to come back to this group and see if they can remind me what we were gonna do with. I think the funding was cut, so wasn't that what it was? Yeah, the funding was cut, so we couldn't do it. We ordered extra paint this year. We got an extra 250 gallons left over that we didn't street, so we would have paint to do it. And so we're seeing what you folks think about just striking
Like
it.
a solid yellow line down the middle of the thing?
Be a skip line. We skip. Just separating the arrows and speed, and George has recommended 15 miles an hour. And they do not have a way of enforcing it at this point, so.
Maybe.
Yeah, the only other thing on that is I think you're just trying to remember it, and it's, you guys.
Yeah, I would
decide.
input.
The only other thing is probably counterclock arrows for going around at the loop at the river,
Yeah.
just to keep traffic going in a
Going right
traffic circle.
and
I
around.
like
Yeah.
choosing which ramp.
Well,
It's a different exercise.
Like,
Just today, I was going the opposite, someone else has the dog, you wanna go the other way.
That's how we would do it naturally. Yeah, yeah, just like the movie cinema.
Just remember, there's no way to enforce it. There's no way to enforce it, so go whatever way you want.
So I just wanted to make sure there was no red flags from this group. If we add that to the list. Ryan?
Do you have enough paint?
I do. And what I would do, Jim, is just if we did come short, we just do a portion of it.
Okay.
Cause I wanna keep some for an emergency if we need it, so. And yellow,
Fine. Do we need to make a motion on allowing Jerry to paint a stripe, or can we just vote and move forward?
I would like to be able to have some support on this, if we could. Cause I don't know how it's gonna go, and I think Mike and Pat would support,
Well, they would support it,
yeah.
because they've been asking for a stripe.
Do you want a motion from them to council?
Yeah, Mindy, I want a motion from Mike and Ben to council.
Sure.
If this group supports it, so they
Yeah,
support.
if we have your support too.
David, do you support striping that? Yes, yeah, or you got it? Can't hear
I think he gave us a thumbs up.
you.
Yes, I support it.
Jim?
Agreed, I support.
Sarah?
Yeah.
Sarah?
Maybe some input from your group on maybe what, because I'm thinking
Yeah,
skip line, arrows.
Yeah.
Every so often, and stencil down speed at 15.
Yep.
Okay.
Now, is that,
cheaper than a sign.
is
We don't
15,
even, we don't have to worry about mowing.
Well, the only thing I would say on that is 15 is your max. Should be slower if pedestrians are visible. Or, you know, but where do we put that? We can put that on the city site and, but 15 max, yeah.
are you going to paint like, are you gonna put on the 15 miles per hour
Yeah.
on the pathways themselves?
Yeah, right on the
Okay.
a stencil and paint it on with white paint. And an arrow, and then.
Or is that telling them to go 15
And just like a speed limit sign.
But any input at this point, we got time before I get some, I don't know when we're gonna have weather and time. We took the painter out of the truck, so they're gonna love that, but
So you guys on Bike and Pedal work.
What's that?
You folks with Bike and Pedal work something out, what you,
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
okay, all right.
Do-
you put the painter back in the truck?
usually June. But I have that hand one that we can use this year, and it'll just go a lot faster with the truck one, but we can get it done and they can do it as they have time. Gives you good exercise too. How long is that road?
It's 3.8 miles.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Or 3.3, sorry.
Okay, next one we had, and we've talked about it already. Develop Park and Ivy Ridge. The reason why I added that to new business, I mean, it wasn't in our review, our short term, but, Jerry and I talked and it's on our 20-year, it was on our 20-year business plan or 20-year parks or development plan. And we just thought we'd run up the flagpole and see, where else do we go from here? We're gonna be developing Auburn Farms, that's gonna open in April of next year. What do we have in our sites moving forward? So this park is also a neighborhood park, and we talked about, what do we need to do to bring that forward, so. Just early discussion, that's all it is,
Quick question.
yes.
So are we still, you're gonna have to refresh my memory here. Are we still taking land in lieu of SDCs, or are we just taking money now?
Right?
It depends. Usually, most subdivisions are smaller and we just take the money.
Okay.
Usually dedications come with larger subdivisions.
So is there a way for us, because it sounds like kind of the big deals on these are always, there are sidewalks everywhere except to where they give us our land and then we don't really do anything with it until we're ready to do it.
Right.
Is there a way to, in this SDC process or land swap, say, hey, we'll take your land, but there's gotta be, you gotta put the sidewalks in and then we'll take sidewalks in.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
That's what I was wondering. Why didn't, why were they required to put it in?
I didn't think about it. I completely
Well, we've
missed it,
never-
and I was out there the other day, go, why is there not sidewalks?
We've never, I mean, we've never taken, anytime we've taken land, we've never had sidewalk. I didn't know if it was a state
Well-
code or what, but
Sometimes subdivisions, they've maxed out how much in lieu they can have, and after the dedication, they're already at the max, and so they're not wanting to spend more. So it kind of depends on the subdivision. But if they're not at their max in lieu, then conceivably, yeah, they could dedicate the land and pay for sidewalks, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Can I use
Yeah.
SPCs for those sidewalks? Are they 100% eligible? It's a brand new park and we did,
I think it would be.
yeah.
Can I? Didn't the developer want to put sidewalks in?
He did for money.
he wanted us to do that and harass it every week.
He would put it all in and grade it, put the irrigation in and all that for money. We were gonna have to pay him.
Because at the time he said they were already out there and it would be cheaper than the city doing it later.
Yeah, but that was the previous council stopped that.
Right.
Um,
Oh.
This might be pertinent to this conversation,
Oh, okay.
coming from Emma. I think she had attended a seminar or something about the affordable housing. And it sounds like there's going to be changes as far as, and I don't want to misquote, but they're going to make it easier to build housing without always putting in sidewalk infrastructure and parking statewide. And how that's going to affect this conversation might be pertinent, and I don't know the details.
We'll let council.
So I guess my question would be, is that something, so this doesn't happen, is that something we could write in? I mean, obviously, we've never done before that I'm aware of where we had them put in sidewalks. Is this something we can put into our, here's, if you're gonna do the land swap until you get to the max, the sidewalks are part of this package deal.
Yeah, usually for subdivisions like that, it comes before the decision. It's a little bit of a negotiation with the developer on their interest in what they want to do or not do. Because sometimes developer wants to do it because it's a marketing thing for their subdivisions. Right. They want to put the extra money into it.
Yeah, I just don't recall on maybe on this one, us ever taking land and then had the sidewalks already built in. It's always sidewalk and then it's, oh, here's your land and then it's just.
Well, it's like,
there.
it's like that last one, Mark's Place, right? They wanted their own park and they
Yeah.
did the whole thing, park and sidewalks or whatever. I don't think, with our new subdivisions coming in, I don't know as if we've got a lot of neighborhood parks. What we need are big parks.
Sure,
So-
I get that. I'm just trying to make sure that we don't miss this again, so we run into this.
It's the size of Mulberry Farm.
Okay, so not huge. I mean, now that they're working on it, it feels really small.
Right.
Right, you're stealing my thunder a little bit, but, one of my main project over the next couple of years is we're doing a comprehensive, code update following the comprehensive plan and transportation plan and all that. And some of that is in the code for heart dedication, and so that'll be in the mix with all of our zoning code. So when the time comes, that'll be something that we can.
Great idea.
Look at, yeah.
Right here, isn't it? Here it is, it's these two.
Oh, that's not big at all.
It's probably the same length
Really?
as yours, yeah.
Really?
Yes.
So Jerry,
Alicia, you're right there then,
SDC,
across from.
I'm across from
Can
it.
you
Don't
get
quote me on
At
that.
green space,
Can
so
you get a
across the
TV?
street is like 2 homes with green space in between it.
to put sidewalks in, yeah.
Yeah, if you can get a cost for the sidewalks, because we're taking a step backwards. I mean, I don't want to see another Ivy Street with no sidewalks. And not only that, it's a safety issue for kids walking in that area as well. So I think we need to continue those sidewalks, and especially on the safety side of things.
I would like to do them too.
Yeah, I mean,
Even if we don't do anything else right there now, put in the sidewalks and seed it or something.
Well,
right? Would you grade it?
It's,
Or is it graded?
it's great, it's not bad. I mean,
is it pretty low out there?
yeah,
Well, they came and graded, on that left side, long side, to do the drainage thing, just like a month and a half ago. There's some grade changes on the right side, that whole fence line. I know that some properties, the park is higher in most of cases than the houses are. But it does have a slope to it, seems to run downhill towards the river slightly. But it's mostly pretty level-ish, yeah.
Lost again.
It was a farmer's field, I believe, right?
It was just a big field, yeah.
I can see how that would happen, you know, in the fact that if you have a lot there, obviously, as they develop, they put in the sidewalks. In this case, it's a city property, and the sidewalks weren't put in.
Right.
So to me, I think it's a step backwards, that we don't have sidewalks in there.
I agree. And that's what I was, trying to think too, is if we get some, this winter, some down, where it's got some time, maybe Public Works will still form it up and pour them.
Yeah, if anything, if we can come up with a plan on how to do those sidewalks,
I'm gonna get a price on it.
yeah, that'd be great.
But back to your first question, I guess, so that was kind of my side question, but what do we have going on? Well, I think, and again, I don't know what we have exactly prioritized and where that money is coming from exactly, but I know like Maple Street, there was only X amount with used for SDCs, so I know there's gonna be probably some money we have to funnel into that,
It was playgrounds and parking.
or in the bathrooms. But I know we can get some SDC, it sounds like, but I'm not sure how much. Right, wasn't there some SDC money available for that? Or was it-
33%, Brian, until we changed the
I don't remember the exact amount, but yeah, it was partial.
partial.
But, yeah, it seems like we had
Kind of,
things.
and there's, from what I hear, I mean, there's quite a bit of SDC money available for parks. But, yeah, we do have the restrooms at Maple Street, you know, playground equipment that we talked about in our parking situation, which I think we've got a plan on. So,
Jerry, I think that, I don't want to get in a position like Auburn Farms where that property sat and sat and sat forever. You know, that's right in the middle of the subdivision. You know, so I don't know what the first step would be of bringing on somebody to start working with the neighborhood to come up with a plan for that. Because without the plan, without the budget, we don't know how much money it's gonna cost to do it through the SDCs.
and isn't that, like the company that you're using for Auburn Farms, the Harper Hoff, I mean, once you've got an engineer, I mean, would they be able to look at that?
Yeah, well, I could,
What would your next step be?
my next step would be, since it isn't in this year's budget, but I'm $1 million under budget on Auburn Farms roughly. It came in with good prices, remember it was, so
Sure, we can respond.
if I could use that extra capital money to bring an engineer on, we could start doing,
And the sidewalks.
yeah.
Wasn't there some deal like it had to be in the didn't we run into that in Maple Street, like it had to be in the 5-year, or one of these projects had to be in a 5-year or something or
Well, it's in
other?
the 5-year,
Did-
5-year, isn't it?
Ivy Ridges?
Yeah, it's,
Okay.
And and is that what this group wants to do is do we want to get going on that next? So we Barry wants 3 projects going at a time, so.
I think if we just start the process,
Yeah.
right in the
Feel like-
engineer, because that. we don't know what it
Yeah,
costs
I don't know,
to
I mean,
make.
I think well, I don't know how this all plans out in a year, bringing Barry here, but I know for me, Maple Street, 'cause that's already there, and it's
Yeah.
already, it's a complete
Right,
Yeah,
something show. For a couple bathrooms and parking is,
Right.
we gotta fix that.
Right, no, Maple's still at the top of the list.
I'm starting to get a lot of contacts now with the people that live around, and we have 2 of them here now. Maybe we should do a meeting with you guys.
if we can bring on that engineer, whoever it is.
Is it just that little, does it go on the other side of that street as well, or is it just this little?
It's both.
Oh, it goes on this
And
side.
this
towards the
one's
river.
Where the arrow is and then.
And this
yeah,
one's
okay.
kind of a destination park, and now we call it right where the path,
The Emerald
the
Necklace.
Emerald Necklace goes by it, so It,
It's supposed to connect, yeah.
it's supposed to, yeah. And so this one, you know, we're thinking you could have some fitness, some outside exercise stuff, a sidewalk and
Where's
some.
the neighborhood?
So I think the next step would be to try to set up a meeting with the neighborhood and talk with them. And then if Harper House is still around, we could, break that down. Or have them come to the meeting that we had with them, yeah.
Get in with.
So,
I feel like
Great,
maybe just
yeah.
sidewalks and a green space and then
very
make
good.
it look nice and then use
Yeah.
the money on things that are there and then eventually.
It should not supersede what we need to do at Maple Street. though.
Hmm.
Maple
Yeah.
Street needs to, we need to
Yeah.
finish that. And I mean, that in of itself is two projects.
Parking and one.
And the playground. Okay, anybody else have anything on Ivy Ridge? The last thing I had on there is, and this is, I mean, I don't know what kind of discussion. Create Parks Recreation District. I mean, it's kind of very vague. The future of Cabot, the pool levy, you know, the pool levy's coming up. Do we piggyback onto the pool levy with the Parks District kind of thing? To raise more money? I don't know, because I don't know, I mean, there is Cabot, and Cabot's a taxing district, but Cabot's not. They're 3 years delinquent in paying their fee to the county, so are we gonna pay that fee for them so that we can move on with the tech and creating it, our own Parks District? Is Cabot gonna run it? Is Parks and Rec's gonna run it? How, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
That was just a filler. I threw that out there to see if anybody's got any
So
feelings on such.
there's a lot of options out there, and as we move forward with the comp plan update and trying to identify, you know, sports field complexes and swimming pools and community centers, there's a lot of things in the works right now, as far as what Canby needs, but we've got to have a comp plan. But the second part of that is there's different ways of funding it too, you know, and I know that the interim city administrator is also looking at the different forms of funding, and there's different avenues. You can free up some money in the general fund by doing a police levy, for instance. That's what Sandy does, and a couple other communities where you do free up some money to then form a parks department within the city. You know, so there's different avenues, different funding mechanisms to make that happen. I agree with you that I think Capper's not one of those options right now, moving forward with that. So how do we keep it under the city control as far as the parks department goes? And so we're having some of those discussions.
Yeah, and that'll be important once the UTV amendment is passed or is approved and adopted. That's gonna bring more land into our UGB, but that doesn't mean the city's purchased any of that land. So, you know, hypothetically, developers could come in and snap up all the land in the first few years. So that ideally, the city has something in motion that's gonna allow them to acquire some land in the UGB expansion area.
And we do have some properties within the current city boundaries too, that are, in discussion too.
Right.
You know, the only time this pool levy has failed is when they tried to put it with the Cappard. And otherwise, when it's stood alone, it's passed by 60, 70% easy, sometimes 80%. So to try to piggyback it on with Cappard, I think it's a bad idea.
Right.
I'm all in favor of a park and rec district, but I don't think that's the way to do it.
Anybody else have anything in regards to the parks district? I mean, I think the council, and the planning department, city administrator, the entrance city administrator, I think they've got their eyes on that prize, so they're working towards it, so I think there's only time, we need time.
Question.
Yes,
This pool levy just for the updates that they were talking about, or like the whole new?
well,
Cause I know that's a lot.
David,
What was the question?
This, well, I don't know if you just threw this on here, this really what they're talking about, the pool levy.
Pool levy.
Would it be just for the updates that you talked about at the last meeting, or going farther than that?
That pool levy it's a 5-year operating levy, basically, that is passed. This will be the 6th one that they passed, if it passes. So what they're doing for the upgrades is just money that they've been able to save over the years, and they're using that money for the dressing room upgrade.
and so the pool levy, David, correct me if I'm wrong, that's just to keep it operational, right?
Yeah, I think it's 49 cents a thousand now. So I don't think that's going to change at all.
That answer.
It's a remodel.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, Ryan, do you have anything for the city?
No, I don't. But like I said earlier, we are gonna be going into a code update. So next year will be a code audit of our current code, and then probably the next year after that will be the actual code update. So there's definitely gonna be pieces that I'll probably bring to this board for discussion, because it does touch on park stuff, so that'll be.
Has Don changed his tune on the STC? When that's going to be ready?
I think he's still aiming for the beginning of the year.
Did you tell?
Yeah. That's all I have.
Okay, Jim? Do you have anything?
Yeah, just very quickly, the Urban Renewal Agency had a meeting at 6 o'clock, a work session before the city council meeting. And the current urban renewal district will be ending in June 30th. So that paperwork has to be sent to the county between February and June of this next year to end the urban renewal district, at which time the city will then see over $1 million in revenue coming from the urban renewal district, which is all very positive, and the urban renewal district did its job and was intended for, especially in the industrial area, by bringing in those industrial buildings, because that will be ongoing tax that will be coming back into the city and to the junior taxing districts. Then we talked about how do we close it? Do we just pause it, or do we actually close it? Because if we close it, then we have to in the future when we adopt the new urban growth boundaries, the urban boundaries and stuff like that, and that'll include industrial area. How do we develop that, especially in regards to water and sewer and roads and things like that, just like we did in the current industrial area. So those are discussions that the city council is having as we speak. Other than that, that's a big one. Walnut Street was at the city council meeting. We discussed Walnut Street in regards to, as you can see, there's a lot of machinery out there, and Jerry knows a lot more than I do. But he's putting in the infrastructure on Walnut Street and the agreements with the county. Looks like that's going through, and so you'll soon start seeing some development happening at Jarbo's going up. That's the Walnut Street extension going up to the industrial area, which is badly needed because of all the trucks that are coming out of the industrial area and into the industrial area, finding different ways of doing that as well. So we need that extended the interim city administrator's contract to the end of June with the option to extend further if we want to. So that's been agreed upon. And he is, the interim's doing a great job as far as we're concerned moving forward. So those are the big items.
Do they have a date, proposed start time on enrollment and how long that'll take?
No, but we're taking we had to get an IGA with Clackamas County to build the road out of the city, and I just sent Randy the resolution for the IGA today, so it'll be on the November 5th council meeting to adopt the IGA. We get the IGA. We need to get the ODOT to sign off on the access permit for the signal, and then we can put it out to bid. So we're waiting on, that's about it, isn't it, right? Yeah, we're waiting on ODOT. So hopefully it's great news. Yeah, and they've had it, I think they're on their third round of plan review, but Steve Boyce, am I saying his name right? Steve, DKS Engineering thinks that they're gonna be signing off on it soon. So I'd like to get it out to bid. Yeah. I'll have to get it out to bid here in several months, but I don't know how long we'll say. So I don't have an exact date yet, Ryan, to answer the question, but we're pushing hard, and Randy's connections have helped us a lot with getting forward movement with the county and everyone else, because he knows a lot of people. So that's been super helpful getting moving faster.
We do appreciate you guys coming to the meeting. We appreciate you coming to the meeting. If things drag along, it never hurts to come to the city council meeting. There's right at the beginning of the meeting, there's 3 minutes that you can speak, and the need for, Ivan Ridge, up there as far as whether it's sidewalks and things like that. But it sounds like we've got really good support from this committee, moving forward.
For volunteers and staff too.
I have one more question, sorry, it's for you, Jerry.
Yeah.
I came to a meeting way back when we first started coming to Auburn Farms, and we talked about the crosswalk that was put on Territorial
Mhm.
and Locust, and how maybe if there's money at some point to put a light in there, because people still don't stop at it.
That's
Ever.
busy intersection.
It's really busy, and so on a logging trail, there's the pedestrian light.
One of those you need?
Yeah, because
Okay.
you guys put in the stripes, but then people still don't stop, and they've done like stings, and there's too many people, they don't even,
Now that Knightsbridge is open back up again.
yeah,
It gets busy there.
I have an extra one that
okay,
came on.
that's what you had said before, and
Yeah.
I was just gonna.
It's, I just saw it, it's sitting out there, let me talk to,
Because like on Knightsbridge, there's one for that crosswalk, and there's one down at the logging trail, but it would be really great.
Locust.
Are you talking about
Locust
Locust
and
and Territorial?
Territorial.
a push button crossing.
Yeah.
Yeah, yep. It's on my list, Maria will remain. Yeah, no, thank you for reminding me.
Yeah.
Did you see your email that just came in from Manny by chance? Manny?
What, an email that just came in?
Well, you'll read your email before you go to Bike Ped, it's about the path,
Okay,
so.
yeah. And those sidewalks, those lighted ones, I think at the logging road, the reason it is so visible and so wonderful for everyone is that it's in the shade
It
most
is.
of the time, right? And I think this Territorial and Locust would be the same.
Yeah, you're right, it really
Well,
stands
the
out.
road is like, so you're lower, and you have to like get out in the road for them to see you, and they still don't stop.
All right,
Thanks for
I think we're good.
Good meeting.
Time to adjourn. Can I get a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I'll move to adjourn.
Ryan, second by Terry. Our next meeting will be November 18th at 6:30 right here. We will discuss Ivy Ridge more. We will come up with a plan, and we will reach out to you folks. Not going to be like next month or month after, but we need to set up a meeting or a neighborhood meeting to discuss desires and no desires, what we don't want to see, what we would like to see.
Right.
Sidewalks, the talking about sidewalks is great. That's-
Well, sounds like sidewalks could happen before,
Yeah,
That's what I'm
The-
hearing. So
yeah,
that's-
yeah,
that's
so I don't see a problem.
before maybe our meetings. Whatever, so. Yeah. All right, thanks, everybody.
For the Mariners and Detroit have something in common.
What happened? Randy, should have never pulled this trigger.
I know.
And then he said.
Yeah, why did they?
I don't know, I didn't think so. I wasn't watching. But it says.
The coaches of that.
That coaches deserve it.
Good for her.
Well,
That would happen.
The coaching man, it's the only-
Yeah, I mean,
My daughter's never gonna do the same for that loss last night.
There's a lot.
Oh, my gosh.
Holy cow.
Yeah. I don't understand. Were they paid off?